Sarah Pomeroy, the author of Goddesses, Whores, Wives, and Slaves, informs us that classical myths are men's attempt to impose a symbolic order of male female dynamics. This is interesting because what we see in these lasting mythological narratives is the weaponization of gender ideals. When women threaten the patriarchal order, dutiful women do the bidding of men. In the patriarchal Medusa myth, Athena symbolizes male expectations of women turning against women. Athena, with her situational power and place in the polis, is a handmaiden of the patriarchy. Medusa is a pawn for Athena and prey for Perseus. The violence toward Medusa is the same violence we are culturally conditioned to accept, to defend, to exonerate the guilt of bad men. Imagine in ancient mythological narratives if Athena, goddess of wisdom and war, had protected Medusa and cast scorn against Poseidon. Perhaps early on, an injustice against women would be deemed unacceptable and unlawful. Imagine that cultural narrative reverberating through millennia. The patriarchal Athena figure helps us understand the ways the past and present mirror each other. When I was working on my dissertation, I coined the term female endorsed patriarchy. This is a gendered dynamic of cultural conditioning. Beginning in childhood, we are constantly bombarded with expectations. We're spoon fed the misogyny, so it becomes internalized. How so? Women must be dutiful to patriarchal ideals of masculine and feminine. Women must profess the indoctrination of male deference. Women must support the patriarchal power differentials to uphold sexist gendered ideals. Women must align themselves with male power. This is especially distressing to bear witness to white privilege and the plague of white supremacy. Women must project an identity of the dutiful daughter, wife, mother for male approval, and women must act as agents of misogyny, especially against women perceived as not dutifully adhering to the patriarchal script. The shorthand version of female endorsed patriarchy is internalized misogyny. Women not supporting women and being beholden to patriarchal ideals to the detriment of female agency, thereby perpetuating misogyny. For Athena, female endorsed patriarchy is emblematic in her power and position in the city-state, directly linked to her father and uncles. As a handmaiden to the patriarchy, we see what Kate Mann defines as misogynist hostility, anything suitable to serve a punitive, deterrent, or warning function targeted at women. And in the case of Athena, by women. Listen, internalized misogyny affects us all, but we must untangle the cognitive knot of perceiving women and girls as other, as marginal, as less than. So to the women who say, why would I be a feminist? Or who are outright anti-feminist, that's exactly what the patriarchy wants. Vote for male politicians who overtly object to our agency on autonomy. When a woman is assaulted, question her. What was she wearing? How much was she drinking? And whenever possible, it is our duty to outrightly defend bad men. The patriarchy has conditioned us to sabotage each other. So what can we do? As Kate Mann declares, if we want to change the world, we need to conceptualize it differently. It's really simple. Don't be a handmaiden to the patriarchy. Instead of being an agent of female-endorsed patriarchy, support women, cisgender, trans, and non-binary. Believe women, advocate for women through an intersectional lens of race, ethnicity, religion, nationality, sexuality, gender expression, ability, socioeconomic status, education level, and yes, immigration status. As women, we are all living under the proverbial umbrella of the patriarchy. Our lived experiences are constantly dinged and flicked and punctured with gendered expectations, stereotypes, sexist government policies, unwanted physical encounters, and the overt disdain or microaggressions of down girl, know your place. But with each wave or epoch of feminism, the paradigm shift builds a consciousness about the oppressive patriarchal power structure of toxic masculinity that punches down literally and figuratively. The pillar of misogyny needs to crumble and be replaced with a cultural pillar of power with, not power over. An alignment, an equilibrium of valuing the powerful feminine and the humane masculine. From a broader perspective, feminism is not the enemy. Feminism is simply mindful energy of how detrimental the patriarchy is for all of us. Feminism is not about harming men and boys or hating them. Feminism is not an attack on morals and values. Feminist action is not the derogatory woke. Feminism is humane and logical, grounded in achieving a more equitable, fair, and safer existence for all, especially mothers, daughters, granddaughters, goddaughters, sisters, nieces, aunties, grandmothers, co-workers, and girlfriends. For the anti-feminist and ambivalent feminist watching, why embolden a system that does not value you? And for anyone annoyed by that question or the notion of having internalized misogyny, that's the insidiousness of the patriarchy. It wants you to be triggered by feminism. Athena and women who endorse the patriarchy actually provide us with a valuable lesson. A principal reason why the Medusa myth resonates for me, feminists, womanists, humane male allies, and I am hoping more people as they become aware, is that Medusa's historic storyline parallels the lived experiences as women, framed, blamed, ostracized, threatened, and victimized by inhumane men and the women who protect them. I am Medusa, you are Medusa, we are Medusa. And this brings us back to Giselle Pellico, this woman in an act of bravery, resilience, and defiance to the patriarchal system that disparages women. Face to face in the courtroom, she confronted her rapist husband and the assailants who violated her. And she did not have to appear in court. So why did she not only face them, but also advocated for the court case to be made public? In court, Giselle said, and I quote, "All women who are victims of rape can say to themselves, Madame Pellico did it, so we can too. I don't want them to feel ashamed anymore. The shame is not ours to feel, it's theirs. Above all, I am expressing my will and determination to change this society." End quote. Thank you, Madame Pellico, for your female allyship and creating consciousness about the need to petrify the patriarchy.